that looks like that's going to be the hooter to signal the start of the next game of our stream coverage for the 2024 Australian Ultimate Championships. This time in our women's division, Ellipsis Pilcrow facing off against Zesty Chili. Zesty Chili on your screen at the moment, playing out of the dark uniform, currently on the right-hand side of the field from the perspective of us here in the booth. My name is Blair Munro. I'm here with the ULTI.TV crew in conjunction with the Australian Flying Disc Association. Shout out to them. Coming across a little bit earlier, having a good old chat. We're all glad that streaming is back, folks. And speaking of streaming, we've got an absolute cracker for you up now. Ellipsis Pilcrow running a slightly shorter line than Zesty Chili. But Inside Out Ultimate gave us a nice little breakdown for both of these teams. Ellipsis have had a fantastic series of performances. We've seen the Ellipsis women's and even one of their open teams come across to New Zealand as well for last year's Open and Ultimate Championships in New Zealand. Very, very dominant in the women's space in New Zealand. In Australia, we're going to see 2 Ellipsis women's teams in Division I this coming week. We're going to see that opening pull from Zesty Chili with a big, aggressive chase. Kelly Brown with the disc for Ellipsis. Quick recenter, finds Plunkett. A nice aggressive zone, forming a tight cup around the disc. Zesty Chili hoping to generate that turn. Mullen and Nicholson on the far sideline being a large part of that handler core. We see a crossfield cut into that strike space from Brown, who's continuing to work with Mullen, pinned down on the far sideline as the zone is really pressuring towards trapping opportunities. Great big shot across the board to Leggett, who's able to find Keeley in that midfield space. Patient offense, using the width, nice and calm from Pilcrow until we see the big shot uncorked for a comfortable find, reeled down as Pilcrow go up on the board, 1-0 over Zesty Chili. Uncorks the big shot. Finds Naomi Leggett for the score. Pilcrow on defense. Winds up the pull. Mulcher sends long. Ellipsis responding with a zone. Not able to communicate the reset to Lewis. It's going to give Ellipsis an opportunity, a very short field to work back if they want to put a second point on the board. Can't get that reset away, but it's towed in right in the front corner. That's Chatterton with the disc for the score. Ellipsis up by 2. Going to get to see that again. Some great work on the offense from the handler there, really engaging the mark, by focusing all of the intention towards that reset, towards moving that disc back to the center field. You could see the Zesty Chile defender shifted all the way around to stop that, which was at the time perceived to be the biggest threat, but it did leave a nice little opening for Chatterton to come through and get that toes in touch. Mullen with the disc. Nice long pull. Conditions still quite stable. Tan to pick up the disc and initiate, working with Garn. But an overthrow is going to see the disc go back to the hands of Pilcrow, except for the run through. That's going to see Zesty Chile keep possession. That same zone. Tan comes nice and wide. Tries to get a swipe from Angarita. Ing and Garn chipping through that zone. Ooh, heavy contact despite the fact that it is a non-contact sport. Mullen committing to that. Looks like it's going to retain possession though. But it's going to tip over and give the disc back to Ellipsis to work back the other way. Miss Combs is going to fire back. Garn under pressure. Laser show through the crowd, manages to find a score, but it's looking like there was a pick involved. And it looks like that may have occurred before the throw, so the disc is going to return. Ing with the disc to initiate for Zesty Chile, hoping to put one on the board. Koditu Waku with the disc, puts the shot up. Couldn't find Ing to put that one away. Nicholson to pick up and start things off. We see a great aggressive undercut from Mullen with a one-handed grab. Phenomenal, puts the big huck up. There's separation, looking for Catterall. Slight overthrow and a touch from Zesty Chile. He's going to generate the turn, giving them an opportunity to work back the other way. High blade for a reset option. Vanessa Garn. Pressured to find a short reset. Doesn't gain much from doing it, but keeps the stall count low as the zone continues to apply pressure. That same bladey forehand, we see a swipe attempt from Angarita, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, it's eaten up by Oakley Mullen. The nice snappy little flick right through, comfortably received to put Ellipsis Pilcrow 3 over Zesty Chile 0. the speed of that forehand peeling out to find the wide open Nicholas Smith in the end zone. Chatterton with the pull, touches down around the brick mark defensively for Zesty Chile. We see that three-handler set looking to combat the defensive pressure from that ellipsis zone. The forehand turning over early, biting the ankles of our cameraman Mike. Chatterton with the disc now right on the sideline. Slips past, finds a wide open Brown, puts a big shot up for another score. Pilcrow 4 of a Zesty Chile. Just a great rundown by Marshall. Chatterton to Brown. Brown with a quick release. High shot up that far sideline, pushing towards the wide open space there. A great defensive pressure play by Jess Ambrose to chase that one down, but it's not going to be enough as Marshall pulls it in. We hear the whistle. Ellipsis Pilcrow to come out on defense yet again. Chile need to find some adjustment, some crack in the wall that is Ellipsis Pilcrow if they want to climb over it and put a point on the board. Mullen puts it low, just past the brick mark. Garn and Patterson. Ing has the disc now. Still against that ellipsis zone. Some miscommunication. Garn still committing to the layout, but it's a little bit too late. An opportunity now. Inside the brick mark is the red zone. They are one pass away from a score. If they can make a completion, but it just falls away from the hands this time, it's going to give Zesty Chile an opportunity to come back the other way. A necessary opportunity if they want to put a point on the board and keep themselves in this game. We have a race to 13. When the first team hits 7 points, that's when our halftime is going to come in. Puts a big shot up. There's a lot of fade, but it's eaten up by Zesty Chile. Well done to get the read on that one. Continues up that far sideline. What a take by Adley Tan from Elizabeth Patterson to put Chile on the board. The score is 4-1. Zesty Chile to come out on defense now. Great opportunity by Zesty Chile here, hoping to put a break on the board. Lewis Shell with the pull. Touches round on the near sideline. Close enough to it. Plunkett to pick up and initiate. Quick recentering. We see an arrowhead. Nice and tight from the Zesty Chili shot. But it's not going to stop that long option coming through, finding Katie Locke. Off a nice reset through to Jessica Chatterton, but the quick bounce back to Locke on the upline cut is going to slip through her hands and give the disc back to Zesty Chili to work back the other way. It's great to see a nice structured zone. It's something a little bit different than the cups that we've seen so far. That arrowhead from Zesty Chili does do the job. But those players on the wings of that zone, we need to be a bit more mindful of shutting down the big shot. That's their purpose there, is to really force the disc to move to the sideline, to force passes over and over. And that's going to give the disc back to Ellipsis there. We'll see if they can make that adjustment. Nice wide open Chatterton, continues through to Brown. Puts it up over the top of Keeley. Late stall hammer as the Ellipsis zone closes in nice and tight. Cassandra Plunkett makes sure that the disc finds turf, but can't connect on the next pass. We're going to see Zesty Chili with another opportunity. Resets back to center field. Great positioning by the Ellipsis defense to discourage that one. It's going to be Plunkett to close that one out for the score. Ellipsis 5, Zesty Chili 1. Mulcher with the pull. It's got a lot of float underneath it. It slows it down as it pushes into the Zesty Chili defensive half. Once again, we see Garn with the disc trying to engage the reset early. Managed to find Ing. But the Ellipsis defense, nice and aggressive. Can't stop Garn one more time. Puts a big shot up. Looking for Patterson, but it fades away towards the far sideline. She's not going to be able to get there. The disc is going to go back to Ellipsis Pilcrow. An overthrow from Pilcrow as they target the far sideline is going to give the disc back to Chili. Ing puts it through to Kodituaku. To Ing in a laser show, but it's touched. by Sarah Davis for Pilcrow to shut that one down. A great sequence from Zesty Chile. Nice aggressive play, pushing that far sideline, but great defensive heads-up awareness. A knee slide by Longley to keep that one off the turf. Tan aggressive on the disc. It's going to stop the easy throws. That far side undercut option is going to generate a turnover. Zesty Chile here with a chance to put a second point on the board at the brick mark, about 18 meters in front of their end zone. 2 cuts into the strike space means that Garn has to look back to find Kadituaku on an undercut. Not gaining many yards on that one, but finding the patience, finds Patterson. Garn on the far sideline. That same high blade we've seen a lot is going to get eaten up by Catterall. Looks like there might be a little bit of communication on the field as to the status of the disc. They're starting early. Sarah Davis now with the disc for Ellipsis. Putting through to Danielle Marshall. Beautiful one-handed take on the undercut. And a line drive from Beresford. Nice string of passes. We're going to see Davis with the disc now. Great pressure on the defense there to stop Danielle Marshall pushing into the deep space to close that one out. Huge bid is not going to be enough. We're going to keep the disc in the hands of Zesty Chile. Kadituaku with the disc now. Manages to find an uncontested upline cut. Big left backhand goes up. Once again, Sarah Davis underneath it says no. Great run down there by Marshall. Keeps that one in hand. The disc blades down, looking to cut right into the breadbasket of the receiver, but the pressure from Zesty Chile is going to run that one through. We're going to see possession switch hands yet again. And a timeout has been called. Zesty Chile in possession, down by 4. A long, long point this one has been. So it's a great move there to give those 7 players on the field an opportunity to refresh their legs. Maybe think about what is and is not working for them. Where is the pressure coming from the Ellipsis defense? How do we need to cut to maximize our opportunities and our percentage chances for the rest of this possession? On the flip side, Ellipsis need to ask themselves the opposite question. What on their offense is working? What on our offense isn't? When we're giving the disc back to them, why? And what kind of changes can we make to make sure that we can close this point out after getting a defensive turnover and coming one step closer to taking that coveted halftime 7th point? But we will be back with the answers to these questions very, very soon.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Back with Ellipsis, Pilcrow, and Zesty Chile as the halftime looks to break. We're going to see Zesty Chile to pick up and initiate right on their defensive end zone line. The offense with the opportunity to set up their offensive structure first, and then allowing the Ellipsis defensive line to set up their defense in response. It looks like we're going to see a horizontal stack from Zesty Chili. 3 of their handlers back to provide as much opportunity as possible to use the width of the field. The remaining players parked up in the downfield space to try and create opportunities through their cuts to exploit gaps in the defense. Garn facing off against Beresford. Kodituwaka on a great undercut parallel to the near sideline, but Garn looks off in favor of Ing as a center reset handler. Eaten up by Leggett with a quick 1-2 punch right back to Catterall for the score. A great vision there. Huge defensive play and that fantastic heads-up switch to recognize, hey, we're on offense now. And that cut from number 44, Ellipsis, to go through and close that point out. We'll see it again one more time. Just eaten up, closed out. Ellipsis 1 point away from halftime. The score is 6-1. Oakley Mullen with the disc for Ellipsis. Gone, Lewis Shell. And Joe Lewis. Facing off against the Ellipsis zone, but a nice high backhand to go over the top, shifting the defensive cup out of position. Using that as an opportunity to work the disc backwards and forwards, but they're pinned down on that near sideline. That same quick attempt at a fake, or attempted an inside break shot as a fake to pull the defense out of position and open up that backhand channel. Are we going to see it again? That's nice hammer over the top to break a zone. Got to give the people what they want. Vanessa Garn, nice quick 1-2, straight through to Lewis. Inside break, gets away with it this time. Fantastic work by Lewis Shell to push across and put Chile back on the board. Folks at home, what an absolute fantastic point and such a great little clinic on display for you here in Shepparton. That zone offense. We saw Joe Lewis time and again pinned down on the near sideline by that cup, throw that faked inside break shot, and immediately on getting that reaction from the defensive cup, from Kelly Brown in the front of the Pilcrow defensive spearhead there, to use that fake, pull the defense out of the way, and go for that high release around backhand once, twice. The priming, the conditioning to say, hey, you know I'm not going to throw this inside backhand. You don't need to close that gap, until bang, straight through to Lewis Shell. Once more to Jess Ambrose, and then as soon as the defense gets in position, the backhand over the top to number 32, Lewis Shell, for Zesty Chili to put it on the board. Davis now against the Zesty Chili. Arrowhead comes to Mulcher near sideline. Puts it low, but Plunkett's going to keep it off the turf. Some nice patient swinging backwards and forwards. A nice little chip past the zone. Forehand gets them out in front. Have they got an opportunity to continue it? No, they're going to push back instead. It's Marshall back to Davis, cutting through, finds Keeley. The backhand's got a lot of front edge on it, but it's pulled down. Danielle Marshall with the score is going to give Ellipsis Pilcrow the first half of the game. The score is 7-2 in a race to 13. What a fantastic performance by Ellipsis Pilcrow so far. So great work by Zesty cheerleader. Not give up despite being down by 4 points. Just putting one on the board, fighting back, keeping themselves in the game. It's really, really good to see, but it's going to be even better to see how this match finishes once these teams have an opportunity to consolidate after the first half, to talk about what does and does not work, and we'll see how their strategies change and adapt and develop through the next several points that are being played. But until then, my name is Blair Monroe. I'm here with ULTI.TV, a proud partner of the Australian Flying Disc Association. We'll be back for the second match of the coverage of our Australian Ultimate Championships 2024 in the women's division very, very soon.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
What a celebration there from number 25, Stephanie Mulcher from Ellipsis, to celebrate the close of the second half. They are up 7 over Zesty Chili's 2. My name is Willem Garnier. I'm here with the ULTI.TV crew and the proud support of AFDA for the Australian Ultimate Championships 2024 in Shepparton, Victoria. Our women's division match is going to continue. The second half starts with a pull from Oakley Mullen for Ellipsis Pilcrow. One more time, it's Lewis really doing some great work against that zone, having to change things up. That inside break isn't going to work a second time, but the hammer will. That's not going to be able to be completed. Ellipsis finding Annie Longley, cutting back through to the center field. Nice leading pass out to Nicholson. About 20-25 meters left to go now before they can score this next point. Mullen with a long shot up. Ambrose is underneath it. She's going to get a hand to it. It's not going to come away. Zesty Chili, an opportunity now to work back. That same Pilcrow zone, nice and tight, nice and aggressive. Joe Lewis doing the most. Managing to chip past. Waiting for the rest of the team to continue before they can make a play, make that continuation happen. Hartman with the disc now. That zone, that cup slowly closing in. Couple of big reset options available, but the stall count is getting high. Decides instead, finds Lewis Shell. Cutting through the zone. Yao goes up, finds Ambrose one more time on the sideline. Newton on the doorstep, marked by Longley, nice and active, puts a shot up for Lewis Shell, and the score. Zesty Chili 3. Lewis Shell to close that one out. Zesty Chili now to come back out on defense. The first point of the game goes to Zesty Chili, or of the half, sorry, not the game. We are already 7-3. It's a little bit hard for anyone to score the first point of the game at this point. I believe that is Garn with the disc. It's going to fade towards the near sideline, coming out of bounds. And so it looks like Pilcrow are going to bring that disc in where it first crossed the line. We're seeing Zesty Chili with a zone defense as well. Brown puts the scuba up over the top. Mulcher has the disc now. Finds Katie Locke. Puts a long shot up. Great run down by Ing. It's not going to be enough. We see the sky ball go. And Zesty Chili. It's Fakiha with the emphatic denial. It looks like there's going to be a call there as to whether or not there was contact on the play. Looks like the turnover is going to stand. Garn with the disc facing down against Beresford. And gaining yards. Low release on the throw is going to give Ellipsis an opportunity. We see Katie Locke on the field putting the hands down, calling for a bit of calm. Mulcher with the inside shot. Goes to Beresford. Back to Katie Locke. Garn gets a touch. It's not going to be a completion this time. Clean block for Zesty Chili. And not an option, closed down by Angarita. Goes all the way through to Patterson with the left hand marked down by Brown. Huge reset looking for Kadita Waku. Comes off the forearm instead, had great body positioning but wasn't able to secure that one. Davis finds Angarita near sideline, looks back, finds Brown. Unclear who the target on that one was. Adley Tanner putting enough pressure in to stop it from coming through. But it looks like there's going to be a question as to whether or not there was contact on the throw. Brown offering the disc to be checked in by Tan, so it looks like there was contact. Accepted by both players that it occurred and had an impact. Brown puts the backhand up, it edges over early. Chile defense is underneath it. Miscommunication there. 2 layout attempts to keep that one in hand, but it's going to be Ellipsis. Davis looking for it. As Garn looks to close. It's Catterall who's having to lose a few yards to keep that one, but not able to get it. On the adjustment of the cut, just throwing off enough. Ing, so active. Has to commit and goes up over the top, but can't get the completion. And so Ellipsis have an opportunity here to close things out. Brown with the disc, 1 pass away. That's gonna do it. It's Julia Catterall with the disc to go 8 over Zesty Chili's 3. A race to 13, 45.5 minutes into our 70-minute game. Great work by Ellipsis to put that one away. A long and hard-fought point. Lots of intensity on both sides of the disc from both teams. It's what we want to see. Nicola Smith with the disc to pull for Pilcrow now. Nice long shot. That same horizontal stack with Lewis Shell on that reset side. near sideline. The cup from Ellipsis, very aggressive. It's going to get eaten up. Longley with the intercept. Finds Gillett, goes to Smith. Just enough pressure from Danae Lewis-Shell to stop that being a completion and a point. Zesty Chile with a long field ahead of them. Some early give-go, trying to shake free of the zone. Joe Lewis one more time, puts a big shot up, looking for Newton. She's got the read. Has she got the support? Ambrose stretching the defense. We see a little switch there from the Ellipsis side. Make sure that they've still got that markage covering in place. Joe Lewis with a big fake. 2 big fakes, 3 big fakes, trying to find the blind side, can't do it. The pace of those resets, just a little too high to keep the balance. And so the disc is going to find the turf. We're going to see Pilcrow with an opportunity to cut back in the other direction. Plunkett to initiate. We see that vertical stack. 2 cuts, 1 pulling towards the far sideline, and Leggett on an aggressive under. The rest of the Ellipsis side pushing into that deep space. The deep shot's there. Great work by Nicholson to find that space, but huge defensive awareness by Yao to go in and close that one out, generate the turnover. The zone, so aggressive. Maybe a little bit of lacking in heads up. Ambrose not able to get it. A great target there, but caught a little bit on the back foot. Plunkett to the outside hand of Gillett. To Leggett. Can't connect with Smith. Joe Lewis with the big shot. Plunkett in better position. With a great box out is going to get the turnover back for Ellipsis. Nice scrambling offense from Zesty Chile to open up that big long shot, but it doesn't come away. We see Longley slight overthrow, but Gillett's there to clean up. Chip through to Smith with a one-hand take. Eaten up by Joe Lewis, got 2 receivers pushing deep. Newton wants to get underneath it, but there's too much fade. Leggett's there. Smith puts the long shot up, looking for Longley. Gonna bring it down comfortably in the end zone to go up one more. It is Pilcrow 9, Zesty Chile 3. Nicholas Smith, what a fantastic line drive for a wide open Annie Longley. Despite the great defensive chase down by Joe Lewis, it's not going to be enough. And so Ellipsis Pilcrow 4 points away from taking the game in our race to 13. We are 52 minutes into our 70-minute cap. Time is ticking down. And that is going to be the pull to kick things off. Fakiha and Garn working with Eng. Can't connect. It's going to give Ellipsis Pilcrow an opportunity. Brown with your round backhand. Finds Angarita. Is she able to close? Goes back to Brown instead. Right on the doorstep. Pressure is starting to mount. Little bit of a body contact for run through. We're going to find Davis, but the disc is still not in line. Over the top. Can't make it work. Chatterton tries to pull it down. Just couldn't get there. We're going to see Zesty Chile with an opportunity to cut back on the long march to the other end of the field. Eng on a great upline cut through the Ellipsis Pilcrow zone. Hoping for something to develop in the downfield space, give her an opportunity, but instead we see Adley Tan take to the ground to keep that one in hands. A nice another shot up to Eng. Goes wide, Garn goes to the body ground. Has the disc again working around the zone. Fakiha pulls it down over Chatterton, who tries to take a bite, but it's not going to come away. Eng zipping straight through. Great touch by Sarah Davis to generate the turn there, reading the intended path of the disc there. Mullen to Angarita. Brown goes up for it, but it's not going to be enough. Big shot goes up. Who's underneath? It's Mullen. But now Ellipsis have a field to work down themselves. Chile switching to a match defense. Looking for opportunities to help around the handler space. Brown finds Locke, back to Brown, near far sideline, by Eng. Angarita. Locke with an insane grab on the wrong side of the disc, puts heat behind it. A great territorial option. Garn to Eng. Working with and around that zone, getting a lot of support. To Fakiha on the near sideline. Sarah Davis once more in the way. But there's going to be a question as to how clean that was, as to whether or not there may have been a foul called. Looks like that foul is going to be called and accepted. So we are going to see Zesty Chile retain possession of the disc through that one. Davis slowly sagging off, allowing that zone to reset itself. Looks to Garn, far sideline. Eng trying to get available. Losing yards towards that far sideline in the process, but Garn takes them back. That Ellipsis zone is very, very close. It's very cramped. But what a take to find through Imanya Kotiruaku. Looks like another foul being called, this time on Oakley Mullen. Chen, reset to Garn. Ing, far sideline. We're going to see the reset go to Garn, looking to swing wide. Finds Katiruwaku, but Brown getting in tight on the defense. Closes off the center field reset, instead putting a wide shot up to the far sideline. They look to continue, but it comes in a little bit high. Zesty Chili not able to secure that one and put the point on the board. Pilcrow to work back. Katie Locke with a great take. Firing long for Angarita. 10 meters out from the end zone. Davis available as the reset. A laser show through. Can't get it there. We are just seeing territory fought for and conceded, back and forth, up and down the field. A war of attrition. These same players, it really is going to come down to who tires out first. As that fatigue starts to build, that's going to create the edge for the other team to really claw back in this point. Looks like a timeout has been called. And so we'll take a short break just as our players do and be back for the conclusion of this point very soon.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive headers blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe. ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world
And
and beyond.
And we are back after the break of that timeout. Teams to come back to the field, figure out how they want to close out this point. Once again, the Ellipsis Pilcrow zone. They're really sticking to it, mainly because it seems to be working. They're applying a lot of pressure. They're not giving Zesty Chili many opportunities to advance the disc without having 2, 3, 4, 5 wide passes first. We're forcing those low percentage options. Katie Locke going to secure that one by getting a hand underneath it. It's going to go back to Pilcrow. They have an opportunity to close if they can be patient. It's Davis with the disc. Big forehand across. Can she get a read? Not quite. Angarita's not going to be able to get that one. A little bit of a tough read there as it swirls in the wind. 62 minutes in. We are pushing closer and closer to our 70-minute cap. We will talk a little bit about what that means when we get there. But Garn has the disc now pinned down in the corner. It's going to come right over our tent into the hands of Leggett on the near sideline. Not in the field of play, mind, but always beneficial to catch the disc when you can, even if you're not playing. Helps to dial in those reflexes. So we are going to see the disc come back in right on that corner as Garn put the big backhand up. It never came back within bounds. So this is a great opportunity here for Mullen to put it away for Pilcrow. We see Eng really trying to quarterback the defense, calling assignments, calling threatened areas. That looks like they're going to call that one in. It's unclear. A little bit of celebration on the field might be nice to give us an indication, although it looks like it may go to the game advisor as to whether or not those toes were in or on the line. So for the purposes of Ultimate, the line constitutes out. So looks like that one was clean. And so that is going to be a score for Pilcrow. It is now 10 to Zesty Chili's 3. The pull from Pilcrow comes in low and long. And a cheeky nutmeg to boot. Lewis Shell working with Patterson. Supported by Joe Lewis in the backfield space. Puts a big shot up. Looking for Newton, but the disc is starting to fade away. Pushes out through the far sideline. It's going to be a turnover. It's going to give the disc back to Zesty Chili with an opportunity here. To Ellipsis, sorry. Mulcher to pick up. Finds Longley. Leggett. Wide open. Needing something to develop in the end zone. Decides instead to find Nicola Smith. Goes through to Sarah Gillett for the score. Ellipsis Pilcrow to go 11. Zesty Chili still on 3. See that again. Smith with what looked like a disc golf putt coming through. Very nice and balanced, directly in front. The two-hand release. And so Pilcrow to come out on defense as we approach our cap. 2.5 minutes left at this pace. If Pilcrow can keep up the defensive pressure, we will see ourselves going in a game to 13. If Chile are able to get a hold here, as long as it takes them more than a couple of minutes, then it might just be a game to 12. Chatterton with the disc. Nice pull with some outside in edge. It's going to touch and roll. Fakiha on the far sideline, or approaching it. Garn tried to get there on the upline cut, but it wasn't going to be. As we see the big shot come up. Eaten up comfortably by number 26, Danielle Marshall. Cuts through, finds Catterall. Back through to Davis. Finds Marshall again, right on the doorstep. Puts it up, finds Leggett for the score. That is going to mean we have ourselves a game to 13 regardless, folks. The score is 12-3, Pilcrow over Chile. And so Pilcrow now to come out on defense. One more turn and break. We'll see them walk away with a victory. Zesty Chile still in this game, but with a much, much longer path to victory for them. And one paved with no room for mistakes. That looks like that's going to be the hooter, but it's not going to affect the way this game plays out. We're still racing to 13. We see the signal for readiness from Chile. From Pilcrow. Locke putting the disc up, allowing one or two passes. Lewis. Umbers. Touched by Mulcher. That's going to be a turn and an opportunity. She's looking to stretch it into a deep cut. No one looking to reward that great defensive play. Gillett puts it up. Finds Mulcher. Looking to throw the assist. Angarita with a read. Not able to get it. Looks like we can blame the lads doing their warm-ups in the far corner. And so it's going to be Lewis Shell for Chile to pick up and initiate. Katie Locke about to put pressure on the mark, signifying to the rest of the team to push towards that near sideline. She's getting hungry. She's trying to get that hand block. Not quite there. Joe Lewis manages to take the reset, loses a couple of yards of width in the field. In the process, puts a big hammer up over Gillett, looking for Ambrose, manages to find her. Longley using those legs. Huge touch from Elka Nicholson to keep that out of the hands of Chile. A laser show through. It's Beresford to Longley for the score and for the game. That is going to be it, folks. 13-3 Ellipsis Pilcrow over Zesty Chile in the 2024 Division II Australian Ultimate Championships here at Shepparton, Victoria. My name is Blair Munro. I'm here with the ULTI.TV. crew in conjunction with the Australian Flying Disc Association. What a fantastic game that was. What an absolute pleasure it has been to be your eyes and ears on the ground, to give you context and commentary throughout the day so far and for the rest of the weekend. But until then, well done to Ellipsis Pilcrow, well done to Zesty Chili, and we will be back with you for the next one very soon.
ULTI.TV.